I think he's disingenuous. I don't think he's very bright. I think his heart is in the right place on most issues, but I think, like a lot of very left-wing people, he thinks that historical anti-Semitism is somehow punching up against an overprivileged minority of society, but actually it is just a prejudice, and I'm very troubled by some of his past actions and associations. I'm baffled by why he won't expose himself to proper interviews. I don't understand why, if he's the Messiah, he can't come into every studio in the country where he'd be more than welcome and lay out the case for the future and the case for him to being Prime Minister, because if he can't sell himself, what can he sell?
Well, he is in a tricky position.
Yeah.
I mean, the right-wing press, as you know, are coiled and ready to jump on anything that he says that might be deemed a bit too socialist.
Mate, everyone's getting a kicking from the right-wing press. Even I get a Sun editorial every now and then. Cry me a river, pass me the violin. He's leader of the bleeding Labour Party. Have they gone after his dead dad yet?
OK, all right, one last question then. How would you compare the fact that you agree with a lot of what the Labour Party
Stop saying that, because I agree with broad brushstroke ideas like redistribution of wealth and ring-fencing the NHS and curing homelessness, but that's like believing in mother love and apple pie. Policies are about sums and arithmetic and money and pragmatism and what's workable, and leaving the European Union will mean there is less money to do all of the wonderful things that we need money to do, and that's why another reason why I don't trust him.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if his position is exactly as it's been 20, 30 years ago about the socialist ideal of having Britain as a socialist, isolated socialist state. I'm sure his ideas have progressed since then, and he sees much more the social-based ideal.
Why doesn't he say so?
Well, because
this is, forgive me, I'm talking over. No, hang on, I'm talking over you again, because this, for me, is the credo of the Corbyn supporter. You tell me what he believes. I ask you why he's never said that. You say, I don't know. I say, well, then how do you know that's what he believes then?
I don't know for sure.
I know you don't.
You're right. One of his fallbacks is he's not come out and said enough.
So you can't tell me what he believes in a debate unless he said it.
I just think he's got miles more integrity than anyone in the Tory party, for example. But he knows he's up against the most conniving, power-hungry party. All they do is their modus operandi is holding on to power. Now, where he wants to have integrity and be honest, if he doesn't play that game to a certain extent,
play that game. You can't keep casting him as some sort of maverick swimming against the tide. He's been in Parliament for almost all of his adult life. Try this on for size. Try this on for size. Try this on for size. Okay. Look at that Tory party that you just described in the most unflattering of terms. Just look at it. Just look at it. Look at it now. Yeah. Look at a party that claims to be an umbrella under which Anna Soubry and Andrew Bridgen can both shelter. A party that claims to be a home for both Jacob Rees-Mogg and Kenneth Clarke. A party that claims to be a homogenous entity to which both Ian Duncan Smith and Dominic Grieve can subscribe. The party, mate, is falling to pieces. Well, and with a decent leader... With a decent Labour leader, it could have been finished off for generations. And that's why I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive Jeremy Corbyn for his incompetence and his ineffectiveness.
I don't disagree with you. In terms of getting his message across, I do not disagree with you. But in terms of what lies underneath his integrity, it sits head and shoulders above anyone in that Tory rabble.
What's the last time he said sorry?
I'm hoping it will be proven.
When's the last time he said sorry?
Well, I don't know, James.
Well, that for me is the mark of integrity, the ability to admit a mistake, the ability to apologise. Otherwise, you're just another stubborn goat.
Well,
I didn't say bigot.
That's another tricky thing for a politician to stick his neck over that line, because politicians don't do that. These are all things I'm sure he'd like to do, but he's having to play the game too.
I love you like a brother, Chris, but that's twice now. The first thing you've said is he believes this, but he's never said it and I can't prove it. And the second thing you've said is I'm sure he'd like to do that, but he can't. That is not exactly what I would call a ringing endorsement of somebody's integrity, because you're telling me what you admire and then admitting that he's never actually demonstrated the things that you admire.
I just have a strong instinct that he's batting for the right team.
And that's fine. And lots of people have a strong instinct that Brexit is a great idea.
Well, they're a lot more wrong than I am.
Their instincts are a lot less trustworthy than my instincts are. I was hoping you'd say that the last thing Jeremy Corbyn said sorry for was the anti-Semitism that had swept through his party, because then I was going to say, yes, but his most staunch supporters deny there was any such thing. So where's the integrity there? Was he wrong to apologise because there isn't any anti-Semitism, or was he right to apologise because there's shed loads of it?